Thank you everyone for being here. I'm very happy to be with you this morning, uh, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you're listening from. I'm excited to be here to share what it's like, what the journey is like for me. I've prepared a slide here. I don't think I'm going to use it because I'm assuming that the audience here are more like people looking to start their journey or start looking to make a career decision. So I'm going to share more like what it is to delve into data analytics and AI. I've been in this industry for the past decade, having worked in different industries, both in Nigeria, United Kingdom, and now in Canada. Okay, so we all know today AI is no longer a buzzword like it used to be like 15 to 20 years ago. We are all seeing the impact of AI, and all of these are as a result of data, big data, right? Just like technological advances in the way we handle data, we know that the increase in volume and the speed at which data is being generated actually gave rise to the technologies we are seeing today, the cloud computing and the very fast, processor, and then other systems to handle big data. Also, smart businesses, in fact, everyone is now leveraging on data, and that also gives rise to artificial intelligence because we've realized that we can actually make use of our past, to determine what the future is going to be like. That's just what is driving AI today. Okay, past data, historical data is being now leveraged to determine what is going to happen in the future, and also to change how things work in our lives, right? So we are seeing the impact of AI in different industries today. In the health sector, where machine learning algorithms are used to analyze medical imaging data to detect some kind of diseases like cancer early enough, so that such patients get very quick treatment and also reduce treatment costs. We also see in manufacturing industry where AI is being used in automation, right? And also in financial services where AI algorithm is used for fraud detection, right? Risk assessment, and enabling such institutions to make faster decisions. Like I worked for a company in the UK that actually is a fintech that deals with loans. Like, so they use open banking and AI to determine who qualifies for a loan, even though the person has a low credit history, like a low credit score. So these are the direct applications of AI in different industries. And AI also has gone ahead to change the work landscape, right? Because of the impact AI is having, because of how effective it has made our lives and how effective it has made things become. Of course, it's going to have like a trickling effect on how people hire, right? Some of the jobs we know are losing relevance because of AI, and new skills are also emerging, right? Because of AI. Think about, say 10, 15 years ago, we didn't have skills like, we didn't have roles like DevOps engineer. We didn't have roles like cloud architect. We didn't have roles like DevSecOps and stuff like that, just because of technological advancement. Also today in the world of AI, we are going to be seeing new roles, emerging, and some roles becoming obsolete and irrelevant today. So what then do we do in the face of things like this? Just calls for thinking more about work, thinking more about how to stay relevant And I believe that that is the reason we all have gathered here today to learn about the skills that will keep you relevant in the job market. But it's good to mention, though, that the changes that we've seen, in terms of skills displacement, might not happen across all industries, right? Basically, it would affect mostly routine tasks, right? You see what AI is doing in customer service, collecting data and feedbacks, using chatbots and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm gonna be talking about these skills, how you can learn these skills, and what you can do to remain relevant generally. So today, skills like data science and analytics are very critical if you want to remain relevant here. Personally, I started my career in the telecom industry, and I started as a junior data analyst, where I was helping the organization at the time to clean up data, make sure data is ready, using it to track employee performance, week on week and month on month, and then transitioned to big data and stuff, right? But data analytics skill and data science are very relevant, and these are the technical skills you will need to have in the AI driven job market today. Okay, you need to know about data analysis, you need to know about statistical modeling, right? You need to know how to visualize data using tools, the most common or most used amongst them being the Power BI Tableau. You'll see this is Looker Studio. All right. So if you are skilled in the use of any of these, that's great for you. And also, artificial intelligence and machine learning is another skill that if you want to remain relevant in this age of work, you need to have. You need to know how to apply this, machine learning and artificial intelligence to different business contexts, right? There are deep learning frameworks like TensorFlow, PyTorch. All of these, you need to be skilled in them. Not to say that everyone is, or even though I'm going to get to that, not to say that everyone needs to become maybe a data scientist or machine learning engineer to be relevant in the job today. But these are skills that you will need to have. You also need to be good in programming. Like you need to know programming languages like Python, R, Java, and you also have a SQL experience, a structured query language for our database management, because most of our data, even though we have different data these days, very fast moving ones like the unstructured ones, and then the structured ones that you still have in traditional relational database management systems. Of course, for those ones, you will need to know structured query language, right? Then most businesses today, in fact, most things are happening on the cloud. So cloud computing is another skill you will need to have. In fact, here, not many businesses are starting out with the traditional computing, like where you buy your servers in-house. Most businesses starting up today are more like cloud native. So they start off first from the cloud, right? So you need to know about the about cloud computing, thinking about the different cloud computing platforms like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud platforms. All of these are you don't need to know all of them. Okay, you could just know something about cloud computing. It's essentially the same thing you do with your on-prem systems, okay, but you just replicate them on the cloud, right? So those are skills like you need to know. Then cybersecurity, these are more like specialized technical skills you will need to have, all right? Then robotics and automation. if you've in the manufacturing industry, we talked about how AI is used for such automations, and robots are used for some critical tasks that are even risky to humans to do. But today, businesses, manufacturing industries are leveraging on AI for that, right? Blockchain technology, Internet of Things, UX, UI design, these are some technical skills that you will need to know, right? Then it's also a blend of both technical skills and soft skills, because you can't just leverage only technical skills to be relevant. So adaptability and agility are some skills, some soft skills that you need to acquire. You need to be creative and innovative. Emotional intelligence is what you need to have, a very good communication skills, cultural competence, right? Cultural intelligence, as some people will call it, and then time management. So these are the different skills that you will need to have to be able to stay relevant in today's AI-driven workforce, right? So how do you learn these things? Not everyone is going to be very strong on the technical aspect, but look at today. If you are a content writer, for instance, if you are a copywriter, think about how AI is used in that field, right? Think about how AI is used. Okay, today we have the generative AI that generates content, right? So how do you use it? So I mentioned new skills are going to emerge. So one of the skills you can watch out for would be prompt engineer. The other day I saw on my feed an advert from one of the universities that sell their courses on Coursera. I saw the advert for prompt engineering course, right? So smart institutions are already preparing for the future of work. We are. I would say that the future is here, because most of the things we are seeing the impact of AI already. But then new skills are still going to emerge, right? Prompt engineer, okay, those would be tasked with writing, giving the right prompts to AI models to make sure that they have accurate responses, right? So it's basically as a result of the rise in large language models. So there'll be need for people who will be able to prompt AI, optimizing prompts for AI systems to yield the most accurate and useful results. So, and there's already a course that they're advertising for that, right? So we are going to also be seeing AI ethicists, right? These are, I'm projecting that these are the skills that we are going to be looking out for, just like in the case of data engineering, more like, not totally though, replacing database administration, right? All right, even though not totally, because we still have businesses that leverage the skills of database administrators to manage roles and users and do all those administrative tasks on database, management systems. But we have data engineering, which is actually bettered by, big data and cloud computing, right? So we are going to have AI ethicists, right? People that will be responsible, they'll focus on privacy, bias, and accountability in AI systems, just to be sure that AI systems are developed and used in a way that is ethical, fair, and aligned with societal norms. So for these kind of skills, you wouldn't need to be that techy, right? You didn't need to be that techy, but you just need to know a combination of things, ethics, in the workplace, and then understand how AI works and how developers should develop the systems in such a way that they are ethical, right? So if you don't want to be that person at the back end writing code or building these systems, you might be AI ethicist who is focusing on the ethics of developing AI and stuff. And then there will be data labeler, okay, AI trainers, so that will actually label, the data, ensuring that AI systems learn the correct patterns and behavior by them labeling the data accurately. In fact, I've seen such roles, even though they are called different things. I think they call it annotators or stuff like that. Okay, but it's going to be more prevalent, as we proceed into the future. Okay, we're also going to have, like I mentioned, AI generated content manager. I mentioned the copywriting and stuff.
Sorry for cutting you. Are you sharing screen?
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure you're okay. No problem. Continue.
So that's so these are the skills that we might see. There's also AI business strategies. So people that understand business and also understand AI, they could leverage those two knowledge and help businesses to do better, with the adoption of AI and stuff. So these are new roles that I anticipate that are going to emerge. So if you are asking yourself today, so what am I really going to do? How do I start this journey? What is the threshold like, okay, of entry? Like, assuming you're asking yourself, you want to make that career switch and you are thinking of going into any of this. Just a few things you might just need to take note of, a few things you might just need to think about, right? What do you feel comfortable doing, right? What do you like to do that you don't feel? I mean, you just need to ask yourself, what side of the divide are you most comfortable in? Are you more comfortable? Do you like to solve problems? Do you like to get your hands dirty? Do you like to write code? Do you or do you prefer using technology instead of creating it, right? So depending on the divide you find yourself, that's actually what's going to determine where you decide to go eventually, right? For me, there are plethora of resources online where you can learn anything you want to learn, okay? And there are also some of these areas that have low threshold of entry, okay? For instance, if you want to do data analytics, if you want to do business intelligence, okay, is relatively low threshold of entry. By that I mean, you do not need to go hardcore on programming, right? So if you are able to pick up skills like data wrangling, data cleaning, preparing data for, not just making sure data is fit for analysis, that alone is a skill that you need to have. And there are different tools you can leverage to do that. Python has a lot of libraries that help you to achieve these pandas. It helps you to do a lot of all of those cleaning on data and stuff, right? You can learn that because that's actually where to start. For every data project, of course, you want to make sure that the data itself is fit, because the result of whatever thing you do with data will just be as good as the data or the quality of the data that you used, okay? So if the data is not good enough, you would have ended up propagating errors, right? So that is why that is the most critical, part of the job of a data analyst, all right, or those that work with data, okay? But then, like I mentioned about, I talked about the different roles. We always have data engineers, we have data analysts, we have data scientists, okay? We have lots of different fields, okay? And some of them low threshold to entry, like data analytics. So you need to learn a couple of things, okay? data wrangling, data cleanup and stuff. Then you can also learn how to visualize data, right? How to tell story with your data, right? Using tools like Power BI or Tableau, Looker Studio. Okay, there are lots of them that you can learn, but the thing is, for you to stay relevant, you need to learn what people use, right? You don't just start learning because probably this is easier to learn. Of course, you need to learn what will be relevant to the market. So, and the market leaders in terms of visualization softwares would be Power BI, Tableau, right? Google Looker Studio. It used to be Looker Studio before it was acquired by Google. It was changed to Google Looker Studio, right? So those are things you might need to learn. You also need to, so if you want to then go into data science, you want to be able to build the models that actually that models that we leverage to do some kind of more advanced analytics like predictive and analytics and stuff, then you might want to go deeper, learning Python programming. Then you might also need to learn some frameworks, some deep learning frameworks like PyTorch that I mentioned earlier. TensorFlow is also one of them that you may need to learn to be able to transition to data science. All right, so I know there are lots of things that might come up in the questions, but just so you know and think about that, in as much as AI has created a lot of opportunities for us, we are also going to see some job replacements, right? Which, of course, I mentioned earlier. So I would like to stop here and give opportunity for the second speaker, and then I'll be ready to take your questions. Okay, thank you very much for listening.